How's it going? So it's a little rainy today. As you can see, it's just not a pretty day, but I decided to go ahead and make a video over our 2016/2017 Mazda CX-3. Now, I'm doing a 2016 because they literally made one change for 2017. So everything you're going to see in this video is going to be exactly the same as the 2017. The only change that they made was that these wheels are now available on the mid-level trim of the CX-3, whereas previously they were not. So there's only 3 trim levels. There's a Sport, Touring, and a Grand Touring, and this is the fully loaded Grand Touring. This is every option available. The reason I chose to do this one is just because it can show you what all you can get on this car and what makes it worth that $27,000 to $29,000 price tag. So I'm going to go ahead and go over this. To start off, this is going to be our Soul Red color. This is an upgraded option. It's about a $300 paint option, and it is a beautiful color. This is Mazda's signature red, and it has a very rich tone to it. There are gold flakes in the paint, which gives it a lot more of that kind of richness. Now it is rainy, a little bit wet, but you can sort of see how great this color accents the lines on this car. It is absolutely amazing from front to back. So to start off, guys, this is going to be your standard Mazda key. Now you do have your lock, your unlock, your alarm, and then on the back you have a little tab to pull out, so if the battery on the key were to die or if the battery on the vehicle were to die, you can still get into the car to pop the trunk, to jump the battery, or to get any belongings out that you would need. So there are multiple ways you can get into the car. Obviously you can use the key to lock and unlock. So if I walk up to the car, there are buttons on the door. Now these buttons will allow you to get in and out of the car without having to use the key. As long as the key is on your person, you can get in and out. So when I hit this button, 2 beeps means it's unlocked. 1 beep means it's locked. So with this feature, you do have cool things that come with it. One of the things is, if I were to get this key, which is the only key I have on me, leave it in the car, physically lock the car, and shut the door, it'll actually keep beeping and unlock every door until you open the door and get the key out, which is a very great feature to have. It also has Walkaway Lock. So what Walkaway Lock does is, once all the doors are closed, it will beep once, and when I walk away, it'll beep a second time. That second beep will lock all the doors for you. So let me show you how that works. I'm going to walk away. There we go. And as you can see, the door's locked. So a few features on the exterior, guys, specific to this model is going to be this chrome strip going all along the bottom. This car looks incredible in person. It is a very great offering in this compact market. So this car competes against things like the Mini Cooper Countryman, the Nissan Juke, and the HondaHR-V. And this one's definitely going to have a lot of things going for it. First of all, it's going to be the interior. So the interior on this is incredible. It looks very nice. Just starting off with the door, you have this kind of nice suede that goes right along here. It feels really nice. Your kind of red color right there on your arm padding. You also have this nice brushed aluminum, which is real aluminum. It kind of goes all along the door right there. You can probably see the little brushed marks right there, but it looks absolutely amazing. As for the interior, it's going to be a white cream leather with your suede inserts, and then little details. So like right here, you're going to have the red, kind of almost like a maroon coming right across there, and then of course your perforations as well, and the red stitching right along the side of the seat. So go ahead and hop in, show you guys. Righty. All right. So to start off, this does have push button ignition. So right there, every Mazda is going to come standard with that, no matter what trim level you get. And very easy to work. As long as you have the key in the car, you put your foot in the brake, and you can see the light turns on. Foot off the brake, light turns off. So once the light is illuminated green, go ahead and push it. Nice little startup right there. So you do have your touch screen in here as well. Your gauges, which are really, really nice looking. You got your tack front and center, which is really cool looking. Very nice leather wrap steering wheel. Nice kind of grip extensions up top, and then over here to the left you're going to have your Bluetooth commands, your volume, audio controls, phone controls, voice commands, and this info button will actually toggle through these menus. That way you can see range left in the tank, average miles per hour, average miles per gallon, etc. Automatic rain sensing windshield wipers, your rear wiper for the back on the hatch, automatic headlights. And of course, since this is the Grand Touring, you do have great features like lane keep right here. So once you get out of your lane, it'll actually beep, or it'll make a rumble strip noise to let you know you're getting out of your lane. Of course, blind spot monitor. So on each mirror, there's an icon that will light up when it detects a car 8 meters back on each side. And when you blink to that side, it'll actually beep and let you know you can't get over at that time because there's someone there. Of course, your standard traction control, your tire pressure monitor, and you also have your radar guided cruise control, which works really, really well, and it actually shows up in this heads-up display, which is going to be right here. So I don't know if you can kind of see. There we go. So there's your miles per hour in there and everything like that. And you do have your radar cruise control, so you can see almost looks like a little bridge or like a little road right there. And you can actually choose if you want to stay 1, 2, 3, or even 4 car lengths back from the car in front of you. So let's say if this was the car in front of me, and which is about 1 car length back, the car would stay 1 car length back while keeping around the same speed you have set. So if I set the speed limit to 80 miles an hour, car pulls in front of me going 70, it'll actually slow down not only to 70 but a little bit slower. That way it keeps that 1 car length pace behind the car in front of you. If this car were to move, the car would speed back up to its original 80 miles per hour that was originally set. Very cool system. It also comes with your self-braking. So there are little radars and stuff up here, which I'll show you guys in just a moment. And those radars work at high and low speeds, and I'll get more into that in just a second. But for the interior, it is very, very nice interior. You have these cool knee pads, which are accented in red, that kind of come right here. So on long distance trips, your knees can rest against these, which is great. You're also going to have this kind of carbon fiber coming right here, this faux carbon fiber, which I think it looks pretty cool. You have your armrest here, which is nicely padded. Now, something different that I've never seen in any other car is this. And if you look in there, there's a little tab. And what it does is you slide your phone in there and actually hold your phone in place. This is a little small subcompact crossover, so there's not a ton of storage space. I mean, there's a little slot right here, but with the phones nowadays, it's not nearly big enough to fit an iPhone. So you can just slide it in here, and it kind of stays out of the way. You can still rest your arm on here and reach this, which is really, really nice. Cup holders, and then back to this. This is going to be your commander control. This is going to control everything in this screen right here. So this is a touch screen when you're in park, but once you go over 10 miles an hour, it disables for safety reasons, in which case we'll go fully reliant on this right here. So you can turn it left and right, push down to select, toggle, and your volume controls. And then push to mute. Your back button, your favorites, and your favorites will save things like your presets, your favorite phone contacts, and your favorite places to navigate to, since it does have navigation. Of course, your navigation button, your home button, and then your music, which will take you straight to your music screen. Right up here, you're going to have your sport mode, which you can flick up and down. You can turn it on at any time while you're driving. When you push it up, sport comes on there. When you push it down, it goes down. Basically, it just holds the car at higher RPMs, that way you have more access to your horsepower, shifts a lot faster, and just makes the throttle response a lot more immediate. It feels extremely sports car-like, and that's really not a joke. You really have to drive it and see to find out. Leather wrap, e-brake right here. You have this cool kind of accent red stitching going down your boot. Nice leather right here, aluminum accents there. Kind of nice feel, kind of leather right there. USB auxiliary 12-volt outlet right here. CD player. Fan speed and climate controls. Heated seats on both sides for the driver and passenger. 3 stages, of course. Now once you get to the dash right here, this is probably one of my favorite parts of the car just because the design is really cool. You have these cool circular turbine looking vents with this chrome accent going through here. This nice kind of white leather going all across the dash. And then my favorite part is this right here. It seems weird to like just a simple line, but it's neat that they integrated this vent in here. You almost can't tell it's there. And of course your vents over here, and the way the lines kind of mimic the lines on the outside of the car going all through here, and it comes back over here. And if I were to close this door, it actually comes all right back through here. It's pretty nice detailing for a car of this price range. So like I was saying, you do get a lot for your $27,000 to $29,000. Your Bose sound system, which you can kind of see your Bose up. Let me see here. There we go. Bose sound system. You do have a subwoofer in the back, which I'll show you guys in just a second. You also have little kind of tweeters up here, which is nice. Yeah, it's a great looking cabin. You got your moonroof up here, which of course has your basic open, close, and tilt functions. Your lights, which I do have on because it's just kind of dark right now. Nice kind of velvet padding in there, that way it doesn't scratch up your sunglasses. Mirrors, sun visor, card holder, and then an extension, that way if the sun's in a weird place you can almost always get it for the most part. I love the fact that it has these. A lot of cars don't nowadays, and you have them all around. I just like them, especially in the back. You can hang up dry cleaning or anything like that as well. You can adjust the height of your seat belts, of course. Of course, you have your glove box down here. Everything like that. So let me get situated here in the front, guys. I'm just kind of going to show you the back seat and adjust it to where I'm right at 6 feet, so where I was sitting behind myself, and show you guys how much room you have in the back. So let me just get adjusted real quick. That's about good for me. Oh, one more thing. So you do have these paddle shifters back here. Now, a lot of people think these are kind of a joke, and it depends on how often you plan on using the sporty nature of this car, but they actually do work really, really quickly. They're pretty fast reacting paddle shifters, or you can use the manual functions up and down here. And just a cool little fact, in motorsports, whenever you're driving, it's usually push up to downshift, pull back to upshift. And the reason for that is because usually you're downshifting when you're braking, so the inertia of you pushing forward is more appropriate. So if I'm braking really hard, I'm already naturally being pushed forward, so pushing forward to downshift is a lot more appropriate. And then of course when you're accelerating, you're being pushed back in your seat, in which case you will pull back to upshift. So it's just cool. The sporty nature of Mazda really shows in little details like that, which is really nice. Of course, when you put it in reverse, you have your backup camera that comes up. You can hit this little button here, adjust all the contrast and everything like that, and when you put it in park or drive, it goes right away. And while I'm on this screen, actually, let me go back here. Entertainment options, you do have your AM, FM, XM, AHA, Pandora, Stitcher, Bluetooth, and of course your USB and auxiliary as well. And with oil changes in here, it's very, very nice. You don't have to get an oil change for 7,500 miles. So if I went to oil change, set it to 7,500, as you can see it was down a little bit, but it'll go down once it gets to around 1,000 or 1,500. It alerts you and lets you know to get your oil change. That way you don't have to keep looking up at that little sticker in the corner, so that's a great feature. High definition traffic radio map, because you do get high definition radio standard on every Mazda. Fuel economy monitor, warning guidance, which will show you if there's anything going on with the engine, low gas, anything like that. So our navigation chips at this dealership, we keep them locked up in the back, so I do apologize, so I'm not going to be able to actually show you what the navigation looks like on here. Communication, so once your phone is hooked up, it does show you all these things. Now, to be 100% honest, this is an Android biased system. So if you have iPhone, it won't show your text messages. It will do everything else, it just will not show your text messages. Alrighty, and of course your settings. So you can go in and do everything as far as adjusting the adaptive driving display, which is AD display. You can turn it on or off, but if you turn it off, it still doesn't make the plexi screen go down. It does always stay up. So if it's always going to stay up, I figured you might as well always have it on. You can actually turn this display off if it's distracting. That way you can just focus on driving. You still have everything you need to see right there in the display, and you can just touch the screen, or you can click a button to turn it back on. Your safety, so this does have the distance recognition with the monitors and stuff like that. So if you're at low speeds, what it'll do is the system will actually close the brake pads very, very close to the disc. That way if you needed to brake in an emergency, you don't have a far travel, or if in an emergency situation, if you don't hit the brakes in time, the system will brake for you, and that way the computer doesn't have a long distance travel either. And if you click that, you can set the distance to far, near, medium, or you can turn the system off completely. And that's the one thing I love about Mazda, is they're all about respecting the driver. So every system in here you can turn off. So SBS, SBC, that's going to be your smart brake system, smart city brake system. Only difference is the city brake system is low speeds, the brake system is at highway speeds. Blind spot monitoring, you can adjust the volume, and that is only for when it beeps when you blink left or right. Your lane departure, you can adjust if you want it to sound like a rumble strip or just a beep, if you want it to happen at or before you go out of your lane, and if the warning is high or low, sensitivity as well. Your sound settings for your Bose sound system, clock settings, vehicle settings, so your rain sensing wipers, which I will show you guys how that works in a second, you can turn on or off. Your door locks, you can turn that walkaway lock like I had showed you at the beginning of the video, you can turn that on or off. Turning signals, you can adjust the volume of your turn signals. And then your 3 flash, so if you barely tap it, you can turn that 3 flash on or off. Your lighting, now this is where it gets really cool. So this does have high beam control. So the way high beam control works is, let me show you right here. So if I push this stalk forward, there's an A that comes up right there for automatic high beams. And what that does is it will turn your high beams on whenever the system deems necessary. But if you're driving, like let's say if I'm driving right now and it senses the car's rear lamps, it will turn the high beams off, turn them back on once the car moves. If it detects a car's front headlights coming, like on the left or right side, depending on which part of the country you live in, or part of the world you live in, it'll also turn off the lights and then turn them back on once that car passes. Or if you get into a well-lit area, it will turn the high beams on or off as well. Adaptive front lighting system this also has, so this will actually pivot 15 degrees left or right with the steering wheel to help you see a lot better around corners. So that is a great feature as well. And of course your Bluetooth devices, and then your kind of basic system stuff like your Fahrenheit, miles, kilometers, Celsius, and yep, that's pretty much it, you guys. So it's actually not as complex as a lot of people make it. It's a great system. I like it a lot. There are a few more menus than I would really like, but it's a great system and it works very, very well. Now, like I promised, I'm going to go ahead and show you guys the back. I'm also going to turn on the lights, that way you guys can see what those look like. Alright, so that's with me set at my seating position. So if I sit back here, now I probably have about an inch or so of leg room. And now, like I had said, keep in mind this is a subcompact crossover. So this is actually designed to be a little bit smaller than even the Mazda 3, just because it is a subcompact. But it's pretty neat just because it gives you a little bit higher stance off the ground. It does ride a lot more comfortable than a Mazda 3, and you also get a little bit more features than you would get in the Mazda 3 as well, which helps justify the little bit higher price tag. But the quality and the fit and finish of this car is absolutely amazing, and not to mention all the awards this car has won. So you do have a good amount of airbags in here as well. So if you guys don't know, this car did win the 2016 IIHS Top Safety Pick Award for the class. So for any parents out there looking at this car or anything like that, this is definitely the safest offering in the class, which is very, very nice, because safety is always a great thing to, you know, to consider whenever you're looking at a new car. And also another thing people don't think about is that helps save on insurance costs as well. So that's a great thing. Fuel economy is great on here too, so you get about 32 miles a gallon on the highway, 27 in the city, 29 combined, and that is only because this is all-wheel drive. If you were not to have all-wheel drive on this, you have about 35 miles a gallon on the highway, and then about 31 or 32 miles a gallon combined, and about 29 in the city. So this is a very economical car as far as fuel economy goes, and Mazda as a brand, we just won an award for the most fuel efficient brand, and that's an incredible accomplishment considering that we don't have any hybrids or EV cars at all. So that is an incredible accomplishment by just having gasoline engines. So I do have the lights running, guys. So in the back here you have these cool kind of LEDs coming in the back, which look really, really nice. Your dual exhaust down here. I'll open up the trunk, that way you can see. You do have your cargo cover, which comes with your CX-3 as well. Now, you also have a light back here, which you can turn on or off. So you can see at night. You have your full jack right back there. If you needed more depth, you can take this top one off right here. And you have a little bit more depth right there. And right under here, you have your spare, and then that is actually going to be the subwoofer for the Bose sound system. Alright, and this is super easy to just slide back in. So much so that I can do it with just one hand. Well, if I can do it with just one hand. Okay, there we go. And you can also fold the seats down, so I'll go ahead and do that. That way you guys can see how easy that is. There's a little tab right here, this little button. You just push that down, fold the seats down. There we go. Same thing on this side. There's a little tab, and all you got to do is fold that down. And that would be all your storage space. And it's not bad at all, actually. And then of course you do still have hooks right here for nets on each side. You can kind of see it. There we go. And of course you have hooks over here as well. That way you can keep stuff from kind of flying up into the driver and passenger area. Your lights back here as well, which is pretty cool. They have that for nighttime and everything. It also equally shines down on your plate. That way people can see your license plate and everything. Your rear wiper, and your shark fin antenna, your third brake light up there as well. I do love the wheels on these cars. I think it looks really good. Your blinkers on your mirrors. You do have very, very big mirrors here too. Very good sized mirrors. And then of course your blind spots can actually pop up right there whenever there's someone in your blind spot. And now with the front lights, you do have full LED lights, which look incredible. This car has a very, very mean front end. And if you ever see this thing in your rear view mirror, it looks pretty mean for being, you know, the tiny car it is. Definitely a good car. So let me go ahead and turn on all the lights, that way you guys can see everything here. There we go. So you do have LED fog lamps as well. So you have your LEDs right down here at the bottom, your daytime running lights right here, and then your actual lights and stuff right there. So this is the only car in the subcompact class that offers LED lights, which is great because they help a lot whenever you're in dark areas, or if you live anywhere where you have to drive out towards the country. And it's great. It really is. Now, to show you how those rain sensing wipers work, there are cameras and everything right up there at the top. So let me get a little bit closer, that way I can show you guys. So there's a bunch of cameras and stuff here. And there's a sensor right there. And that sensor is going to actually work the wipers whenever water pours on them. So I have my water bottle here. If I were to pour water on top of this, that's how it works. Pretty simple. And now up front here, it's going to have kind of a glazed kind of coating on it. It's not going to be your regular emblem. And the reason for that is there's actually sensors behind there that help you more accurately keep a set distance from the car in front of you. So instead of having cameras back here, it's better to have it here, because this is the, I guess this is the furthest front part of the car. So if you were to get into a collision, you know, it's going to hit right there. It's not going to hit up on your windshield. So it's nice that smart that they did that. I really like that a lot, actually. But that's pretty much it, you guys. Other things that I probably didn't cover, every Mazda comes with your standard 3-year, 36,000 mile bumper-to-bumper warranty, 5-year, 60,000 mile powertrain, and then you get a 5-year Mazda roadside assistance included, which is very, very cool. Very cool indeed. Another cool thing about the CX-3 is, once again, just the amount of awards this car has won, and not just the CX-3, but Mazda as a brand. I know even Consumer Reports has rated Mazda, I think, 5th overall as a brand, only behind Lexus, BMW, Audi, Porsche, and Subaru. So that's a huge accomplishment, for sure, especially considering 4 out of those 5 are all luxury companies. So Mazda and Subaru are definitely at the top tier of their class. But as for the all-wheel drive, that's the last thing I'm going to touch on, you guys. This is an active all-wheel drive. And what that does is it actually tries to predict the situation. So if you were driving, and let's say if you drove over a puddle going about 60 miles an hour, by the time your rear wheel hits that puddle, it will have already distributed 50% of the power to the rear for traction purposes. And then of course, if you're on a hill, it detects the angle of the car and it'll push power back that way, and it just reacts within milliseconds. And if you want to see a video of how quickly it works, we actually have a video showing this CX-3 against the Subaru competitor and how ours performs a little bit better. And that link will be in the description if you guys want to watch that. Other than that, guys, this has been my review over the 2016/2017 Mazda CX-3. Once again, it is a great car, very, very underrated car, and you should get out there, test drive one, see if you like it. And the dynamics on this thing, it's going to handle absolutely incredible. So hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you so much.